right. Well, hey everybody, welcome to the Luthierist Podcast. I'm Paul Rhoney.
I'm Jason Rogers.
And I'm producer Matt Smith.
Yeah, you are. This is cool to have all three of us in the room at the same time. Wink, wink.
In
nudge,
the room.
Welcome to the podcast dedicated to tagline here. Still workshopping that. Yeah. What do we got so far? Something about
educating and entertaining the people who like the Git boxes.
That's right.
And empowering. Don't forget the empowering.
Yes, empowering. We got the 3 E's. I think those are going to go in there somewhere. I think we've got that part figured out. We just have to word the rest of it. And therein lies the challenge. But this is exciting. This is really cool. It's welcome to the new year as well. 2018, guys. Can you believe it?
I know. The new millennium is legal. 2018. I love that.
I think that might have gone over my head a little bit. I'm not sure what that was in reference to.
Blink.
Well, this is great though. I mean, I think we're all excited. NAMM is coming up real soon. It's a blizzard on the East Coast. California's still on fire, but up here in the Pacific Northwest, we're comfy and cozy.
Well, it's wet, but we're comfy and cozy.
Wet and cold.
That's how we like it.
True.
Without umbrellas.
True. Yeah, I don't
still
know
keeping
anybody
it weird. Hey, we're still keeping it weird up here.
Weird. That's right. Yeah, that's what it's all about. All right. Well, welcome to the episode, everyone. Thanks for listening. This time around, we are doing kind of a year-end wrap-up. We're going to talk about how 2017 went for each of us, and then we've got a few other little things we want to talk about, and then it's on to bigger and better things. What do you guys say we get started?
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Woohoo!
Hey folks, before we get into our 2017 year in review, we want to tell you about some of the cool stuff, some of the ideas that we have coming up for 2018. One of the things is that we'd like to make more of a connection with you, the listener. And one way you can do that is to email us some questions.
Yes.
We're going to give you some information, perhaps in the podcast info area that you're looking at right now. An email address that you can send us some questions, because we'd love to be able to do some Q&A shows. Not only just tapping into our own expertise, but also maybe just calling up a friend here or there and asking them about a particular topic. We also want to know who we're talking to. Who are we sending the show out to there? So we're going to be sending out a listener survey soon, and it's a little bit lengthy, those kinds of demographic type questions and stuff. But we really want to know who our audience is. And you can really help us out with that. Along with some of these submissions and things like that, we'd like to be able to thank you for that with some Luthierist swag that we're developing, and to say thank you for taking the time for doing things like sending us questions and sending us these surveys.
Yeah.
But we've got some other cool things also in the format that Paul's going to talk to you about right now.
Yeah, so the format of the show for now, our basic plan is the interview shows that we've been doing are going to be about kind of an every other week sort of a thing. The listener question shows are going to be about an every other week sort of a thing. But we reserve the right to change it up if if something special comes along. If we have an opportunity to bring you something cool, we don't want to. We're not going to leave anything out, so we're going to keep it going, and expect the show to still be half hour to an hour long every week. And best thing is we're back to every week. We're not gonna miss it.
Indeed. We had a little bit of a dry spell there in the fall.
Yeah. Well, I take a lot of responsibility for this show, and I take a lot of responsibility for that. But the good news is I got help now. I've got a team over here behind me that is making this happen, and that's the important
We're stoked.
thing. So without you guys.
Yeah. No, it's great. And it's so great to be here helping out. Such a fantastic show. And also just not the team here, but, the team that's been helping make the show just amazing over the years. Perry Ormsby, we've got John Sully Guitars, Doug Cower. These guys are just fantastic. They kept this show going for a long time. I learned so much from listening to all those guys and you. And just excited to keep this thing going because there's a lot of rich, great history here, and we're going to keep pushing it in the future. Looking forward to having those guys on the show here in the near future. Want to get checked in with them and see how they're doing. I just talked to Doug the other day, and cool. He's excited to get on board and give us a little insight on what's happening at NAMM this year. So happy to hear that. So all right.
I reserve the right to have little fanboy moments when some of those guys get on, because being able to to talk with some of these guys that I've been following, not only their products but following the banter that you guys have been up to on the podcast for years now. I'm really looking forward to meeting those guys. Speaking of content, we're also trying to diversify the content a little bit more. So instead of just simply listening to us on the podcast, we want to get some more video up through the YouTube channel. That will include just straight up interviews through the YouTube channel, but also shop tours. Starting to do some industry events and industry news. Maybe trying to get some tool reviews in there every now and again, and just trying to give you a little bit wider range of information and just different types of way of checking out what's going on here with the Luthierist and what's going around in the industry.
So, guys, 2017 was a year.
Indeed.
Wasn't
the whole
it?
365.
Indeed, it was. What a year. I mean, momentous, I think, in more ways than one. But let's hear about each other. Jason, please.
This has been a really cool guitar year for me. This is something. Being part of this podcast is really cool. It's borderline dream come true kind of thing, because I've been doing this guitar hobby kind of thing for such a long time, for going on probably close to 20 years now, since I've been interested in it and I've been wanting to build guitars. And being part of forums, being on the MIMF, being a member of the Guild of American Luthiers, and meeting people. And so many people have been so incredibly gracious and generous in their time and their information and sharing and helping me to become a better guitar builder. And so just simply being part of this podcast has been a great experience. And that all started practically a year ago when Paul, you moved back here to Portland, and I contacted you when I had lunch, and kind of the rest was history. We kind of hit it off, and it's been great. Knowing you, Matt and I had run into each other at a guitar show earlier, and then got reintroduced, and just the three of us really hit it off, and we just have had such great conversations both on and off the mic, and it's really helped me feel closer to the community at large, and it's something I'm really having fun with. In terms of my own. Well, I'm man. In terms of my own personal guitar work, it was only a year ago that I registered as a business, JMR Guitars. It was just something where I thought that, okay, I need to kind of make this real and get a business license for all the financial and kind of tax reasons and stuff. But there's other benefits to that as well, with getting hooked up with some dealer accounts and stuff like that are very beneficial when it comes to sourcing materials and stuff. But some of the best collaborations I had were with friends and with local people. Like, for example, our common friend John Songson, who's a really talented CNC guy.
Hey, John.
Yeah, he's worked with me to create the custom aluminum bridge plates that I use.
Those things are cool.
The proprietary bridge plates, and he went into work on the weekend and milled those out on some machines that I'm just not able to touch. I'm just not there yet in terms of that kind of technology. But that was a great collaboration, and it's really brought my guitars to another level. Also have an old friend from high school named Lon Whittier. He is the maker of M7 straps. He's out of Plymouth, Minnesota, and we've been working together to make some custom guitar straps. We're going to be doing between the two of us a little bit more of an announcement on that coming up pretty soon here. But basically, handmade leather guitar straps with JMR logos imprinted on them, and they're really super cool looking, and I'm really happy to be providing those with my instruments. I think I did 4 guitar shows this year, and different shows. The Oregon Guitar Expo that happens locally here twice a year, and what we called locally the Merrillhurst Show, but it's the Portland Handmade Musical Instrument Exhibit that's at Merrillhurst University. It's pretty awesome. If you've never been to that, it's been going on, I think, 42 years now?
That's a great
long time.
It's like one of the best kept secrets here in the Northwest. It is just like boutique wonderland in terms of, and some of our friends who have been on the show exhibit there. Clayton Pledger's been there, of course. Local Saul Cole and Matt Proctor with M-Tone. We're going to get Joe Parker up here this next spring, and just really it's like a magnet for all of some of the best boutique builders in the Northwest here. When it comes to guitars I've built, I'm really proud of my new model that I prototyped really just basically last March. I call it the Alma, and it's been received really well. I sold the prototype right away and sold 2 more right after that, and that was really pretty cool.
It's a great design. It really is.
Yeah, I'm really proud of it, and it's got a lot of mojo to it, That those other 2 that I built there were a pretty cool project, I call them the Koa twins because it's a matching 6-string and bass build made out of, as much as possible, sister cut boards. The top 1-piece Koa boards, the back 1-piece alder backs, maple necks, locust fingerboards. I mean, just like they're matched as they can be. And when you look at them side by side, they almost look identical. It was a really cool project, and I'm thinking of making it kind of like a thing that I do, doing these matched instruments, and whether the same person wants to buy them, or if they can be something that maybe friends in a band buy or something like that, so they can be matching, like ZZ Top or something like that. That'd be cool.
That could be one of those like sort of community forming things, where 2 people from across the country have like their sister guitars, and it's like, no, those 2 are friends because one guy's got the bass, one guy's got the guitar, or whatever. It could be cool. I finished up the year with one more little project. I had started a ukulele for my daughter this summer. That kind of got sidetracked by some other paying work, but I finally finished that up right before New Year's and gave that to her, and she's just absolutely cool. Loving it. It's based on my Alma model shape, but it's a concert-sized ukulele, and I'm not quite sure if I want to offer it as a model yet, but it might. If I get any interest in it, I'm gonna consider that. I'm gonna need to tweak the design a little bit, but it's a lot of fun to build, and it sounds really, really good, surprisingly, for
basically a semi-hollow ukulele. It's pretty cool.
Well, if you do that, if you bring it out as a model, you've got a 4-string, and then you've got 6, 7, and 8 strings. So you just have to do a 5-string something.
And then... no banjos. But all the while, this year, it's just learning to sort of manage as a small business has been really interesting, and there's obviously been some growing pains there. One of the important things is learning to have that work-life balance with family, and there were a couple times when my girls were like, "How much longer are you gonna be out there?" And I had to really make some realizations that there's only so many hours in the day, and you got to make sure that your number one is being covered, and number one's always got to be family. And so speaking of family, I've been really fortunate to have my health this year, and been really fortunate that my family's had their health. And despite all the things that one could be kind of grumpy or pessimistic about in 2017, I'm feeling pretty good. And I'm feeling really excited about 2018.
Yeah, gonna be great. Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Jason, it sounds like you had a really great year, and I'm super happy for you. And like I said, I mean, we couldn't be happier to have you on board here at the Luthierist. I think it's clear from the other interviews that you've done with us, from the from this show and from everything else, that you got a knack for this, bro. You got a knack for it. And
you make me feel funny and small.
We're happy to have you here. We really are. And with that, I guess it's my turn, I guess. Oh boy, what a year, man. Yeah, so I mean, I couldn't be happier. You mentioned that, I did move back to the Pacific Northwest. I moved back to the Portland, Vancouver area earlier this year, and I mean, I couldn't be happier about that either. Like, this is just home for me, this area, this part of the country. And I mean, it put me closer to family. It put me closer to a lot of friends that I got up here. And, and I kind of met you guys in the process. Like, I kind of already knew you. There was a little bit of a relationship there ahead of time, but also kind of a little bit of a new thing. Matt, you especially, our meeting was very fortuitous, and you've helped me out a lot, and I mean, I can't thank you enough, and continue to
happy to do so, man. You're a great guy.
Praises.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, I'm happy to be here, and I think this is really cool because this year is really going to be, I think, a big launch point for me personally, and obviously for everything we're doing with this show, but also well I'll get to it, but let's start at the beginning, right? Let's start at the beginning. So so I made this decision that I was going to move back up here, and it was kind of a tough one because I was running my own company, and I didn't know how I was going to move up here and keep my company going, and the shop situation, and it just became a big, complicated question. I didn't know how I was going to do it. So I had the idea to just sort of look for work elsewhere and see what else I could get, and that's how I landed the position at Veritas Guitars that I had for most of the year. That was a good thing for the time that it was a thing. I mean, those guys showed me a lot of things, and I learned a lot while I was there. There's definitely just some great experiences that I had with them. I wish them the best, but what's it been, about maybe a month ago now, something like that?
Sure, I think about a month.
About a month. I left, and it was kind of time. It was I had other things that I wanted to pursue, and my exact trajectory was a little unknown, but that became clearer after I left. And so I mean, huge thanks to Casey and Jim and Alex and everybody at Veritas Guitars.
Indeed.
I love you guys. I hope you don't think that like we haven't talked in a while, but I hope they know that I love them and that I wish them the best.
Oh yeah. Those guys are awesome, man.
People got to understand if they haven't talked to me in a while, it's just because I'm kind of terrible at communication. But that's a whole other story. But, hey, but it doesn't mean I don't love you. I love you, man. Love you, Nothing but love. Nothing but
Gotta
love.
be you.
Yeah, I get busy. I get busy. But it was cool, and like I said, I learned a lot of things. Those guys are incredible builders. For anybody that's ever like held a Veritas guitar, like the quality on those things is insane, and that's really cool.
Oh, man.
People should check them out, and hopefully bump into them at NAMM and throw some hugs around. A couple of other things, just throughout the year. Besides that, I mean, just kind of to sort of go back to the beginning, it was nice to just kind of have some downtime to read books. I read 12 books this year. I'm feeling really good about that.
You must be very smart.
Yeah, I like to think so. I don't know if that's true.
Now,
try. At least I can. At least I know how the book Let the Right One In went, and it's different from the movie, and it's frightening. So there's at least that. At least that'll give me nightmares, and we can all think about that. But yeah, a couple of other things. I think I sort of developed a few new obsessions. One music related and one not so much music related. Music related was playing bass. This was like a weird thing for me because I've basically gone my entire career as a guitar maker having almost no interest in bass at all. Like, it just was, for me, it was always just kind of like Fender designed the P bass, and the P bass is so perfect. Like, you just can't, like, there's just nothing cooler than a P bass, right? So, so I just didn't really have any desire to design a bass of my own. Mm-hmm. And I still haven't, but I will. I just had an idea for it, so I think I know what I'm going to do. But it's
just now as you were talking.
Just now as I was talking. Yeah, no.
It's amazing. We caught it on tape too.
We'll get to it.
That moment.
But it's so cool. But I never really had a desire to play bass, and then I started. And then for some reason, this was the year that I got it in my head that I need to play bass, and I got a cheap $200 Squire P bass off Craigslist, and that's my bass, and it's cheap, but hey, you know what? It's a bass. It's
your bass.
It's great. It's my bass, and I love it. And so,
modded it too right away.
But yeah, I did. I reshaped the neck.
It's that perfect design.
Now it's perfect.
Now it's perfect. Now it feels like an old one. But I started playing some music again. I'm excited to play music again. My other obsession, and I won't go into it too much, was motorcycles, which, like I said, I won't go into it too. It's totally off topic, but I've been obsessed with motorcycles. So anybody that wants to talk to me about motorcycles, if you want to email us and just talk to me about motorcycles, I will nerd out with you all day long. Beyond that, I'm just excited for the podcast and what we're doing with the podcast. The other big news, I guess, the cat's kind of out of the bag already, but I am Matt.
That usually happens when you announce stuff on social media.
There you go. It wasn't even really an announcement. Actually, you made the announcement more than I did. I just started posting stuff, and then you were like, "Hey, everybody, check this out!" And then it's like, "Oh, now we got followers. I guess I got to post stuff every day now." But yeah, I mean, I am starting a new guitar company. I mean, Matt and I just had this idea to do guitars, and I think that again, when I left Veritas, I didn't really have like a set trajectory in mind, didn't exactly know where things were going to go, but it just was pretty quickly apparent that I had way too many cool new designs that I wanted to work on, and we wanted to make a shop and wanted to make some dang guitars. So Danger Brand Guitar.
Danger Brand Guitar Company, baby.
I love watching and being near this sort of growth and development of this product, brand, because just from my perspective, this just, it looks like it's going in a super cool direction. I mean, it's just every time, like you'll text me like a line drawing or something. I'm just like, damn. And all your little reveals, on social media, they're just like, God, people are gonna go nuts over this. It's gonna be cool.
It's
gonna
been
be super cool.
It's been interesting.
Yeah.
I've been teaching myself how to 3D model in Rhino, which is going really well. I'm really enjoying the heck out of that, and so people can follow at Danger Brand Guitar on Instagram. There's a Facebook page now. There's a Twitter account, and
Facebook. I gotta find that.
Yeah, I just put it up. There's
still
like
smell the ink on it.
There's nothing on there yet. But yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of the ideas are really just let's go high concept. Let's not put any limitations on anything, and let's see what happens. So it's very much just let's do what excites us. Let's make the coolest thing we can think to make, and yeah, I'm really excited about it. They're all new designs, and we're kind of bringing back some of the designs that I did with Rhoney with my own company, but different,
Yeah.
So there's going to be some of that, but most of the new designs they're brand new designs, and
Yeah.
I think it's
Unique
some
to
of the
Danger
coolest.
Brand. Yeah.
I think it's some of the coolest designs I've done in my career, and I can't wait to get in the shop and start building these things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just holding the prototype in your hand of the pointy ouch is it gets me going. That guitar feels so amazing. Cannot wait to get it strung up and running it through its final paces here. So excited.
Yeah. Shout out to Alloy Guitars, who have been helping us with some of the prototyping, with some of the initial 3D modeling stuff, G-code stuff. I mean, those guys are just killing it as far as I'm concerned in terms of just being good at what they do. Like wow. Alloyguitars.com. I think they're at Alloy Guitars. Alloy Guitars. On the old Instagram, and I mean, they've just been this enormous, help with us with getting things going. And I mean, I'm teaching myself this 3D modeling stuff, and I'm getting the hang of it a bit. But there's a whole other realm to the 3D,
it's so deep.
To all the CNC machining stuff that I don't even know yet. So they're helping out with that, and it's been really cool working with them. So. Yeah, I mean, I hope everybody checks it out. I hope everybody gets excited. I think we're kind of looking at maybe around a March-ish, sort of official launch, but podcast listeners get the first inside info on that. And, I'm sure we'll be talking about it some more, and, I hope everybody checks it out.
Can I interview you, Paul?
Yeah. I'm not doing any interviews right now. No, yeah, sure.
Can I be your co-host on that one, Jason?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys can do that. How about we do that? That'll be one of our upcoming episodes of the Luthierist Podcast, is interviewing me, the host of the Luthierist Podcast, and talk about the launch of Danger Brand Guitar.
Indeed.
At Danger Brand Guitar on Instagram. I hope everybody checks it out. But everything. I mean, this podcast means a lot to me. We do have a lot of history, and I think this is really going to be the year of embracing the history of the show, bringing it back old school, but also taking it in brand new directions, trailblazing a bit, if I may. And I can't wait, to talk to Perry and Sully and Doug again. I love you guys. Thank you for everything you've done, and this is get pumped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you see me moving my head like this? You see me? They can see me. This is bad radio because I'm dancing and they can't see it.
If they could see me now.
Everybody with this, they don't know what we're talking about, but look, we got this going on.
No show
okay.
tunes. No show tunes.
All right.
Matt,
hey. How you doing there? Hey.
I'm
How about your year? How did your year go? Let's hear about it.
My year was fantastic. It's my years are always busy. Busy. You guys know me. I'm going 100 miles an hour and think I can take over the world every second of the day, and it keeps me going.
Yeah.
But man, it was a great year this year. Aside from my family being happy and my other business, doing well in its 15th year. I had,
cool.
And being involved in guitar and collecting guitars and building a few guitars right after high school and kind of deciding what I wanted to do, as I start transitioning away from my business, about 2 years ago, I said, hey, I'm going to build some guitars. May not make a lot of money at it, but I just want to do it because I'm just so passionate about them and love them. And, then I got introduced to, seeking out more information and getting myself ready. I found the Luthierist Podcast. Just awesome. I think it was probably closer to, mid 2016, but the 2017, just meeting you and my relationship with you and all the great people that I have met, especially Jason, and being my friendships that I've developed with you guys are just awesome. You're my best friends. I don't, have a lot of friends outside of my wife. I mean, I've got a million friends, but really close.
All right.
So I guess I'm lucky to have that as well. But, I've met some really, really great people along the way. And I got to send a shout out to Veritas Guitars and Casey Marvin, Alex, Jim. You guys are freaking awesome. Casey, the kindness of his heart. I met him. I got an introduction from you to him while you were there, Paul. And Casey said, you come back anytime. And I said, well, how about this Friday and every Friday moving forward? And he's like,
that's super cool.
Absolutely. And that guy opened up his shop, was so kind, just shared everything with me. And, without fear, because he's confident about his product and what he builds. And he's so dedicated to the craft. And I'll tell you, I mean, Paul, you heard me tell him before. I mean, outside of Paul Reed Smith, I don't know who's making guitars that quality. I mean, they are beautiful. So Casey, Alex, Jim, thank you so much. You guys are fantastic. I need to come up and say hello.
Bring a box of Krispy Kreme.
Green box of Krispy Kremes, baby. So we'll go out and have some breakfast.
That's
soon.
why they let you in.
I
might have been a thing that happened.
I have my ways, but so anyways, and through them, also through Paul, when I went down to California and was at the Cower shop and met Paul. Doug has just been so kind to me. Doug Cower, thank you, Doug. He was so kind to me. I mean, he calls me and checks in just to see how I'm doing. Hey, how's Scarab Guitars? How's Danger Brand going? You guys doing okay?
You talk to him more than I do.
Yeah, so he's been fantastic. And so, Doug, I got to tell you, you've been a mentor and so kind with everything, and I really appreciate you. And, I appreciate Sully. I've never met Sully. Sully, buddy, you did such a great job taking the show forward.
Yeah.
And you were my partner in guitar building crime, every weekend. So thank you very, very much. Whether you know it or not, dude, you build beautiful guitars. And just what a great personality you've got. And this show wouldn't be where it is today without, you carrying that torch so hard. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And also, Perry Ormsby, I cannot wait to meet you. I cannot wait to have a drink with you. You're my type of people, and looking forward.
We need to figure out how to fly to Perth. It's like
oh my God,
go to the end of the earth.
We'll make it
I've
happen.
had a plan for a while now to just show up at his shop one day and just be like, "What up?
What up?" So, anyways, Perry, thank you very much. I mean, your knowledge, even on the business end, is just wildly fantastic and so helpful to all the listeners and everybody, who's checked in here, and probably everybody you meet as well. So, and you just
that's a crazy insight. Just
just
things
awesome.
that you would never think of. That's just
exactly
every
how to market a guitar business. Social media, everything. He's got it nailed, man. That guy's brilliant. So
I'm always just left like, man, I should have written this down. Damn it.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you didn't have to write it down because he explained it all, and it is now recorded in podcast history. And just go back and listen to those old episodes.
So also, hey, I met another great guy this year in this guitar world, and that is Co Schneider at the One Day Guitar Show.
Yeah,
that guy is so dedicated to helping builders of whether it's small boutique builders of guitars, straps, cables, effects. that guy has been driving around busting his hump for nearly nothing to get those products out there to the public so they can get them in their hands. Co, you're an angel. You are such a great supporter. Thank you. And you are a quality human being.
Indeed.
Man, it's my pleasure. My pleasure to meet you, man. So fantastic. So I'll get this moving along, but I'm so excited because I started my guitar company this year, Scarab Guitars, and I have my own designs, and we're working on those, and that's great.
Yeah, we're gonna build the heck out of
I'm
them.
never in a hurry. I like to hit everything like a nuclear bomb. We hit it hard. When it drops, everything's in place, and look out because we're coming after you.
Yeah.
So, but and then with Paul being able to, I saw Paul's designs when I first saw these designs that he'd been putting together. I just said, Paul, I'm going to put Scarab over here. Let's get these designs going. Let's join forces and make this happen. And it's been a great journey. You've taught me so much about guitars and construction of guitars and design, and you've just been great. So excited to do Danger Brand and do it with you. So I really appreciate our friendship and our collaboration. It's been so great to see you grow this year and all the great things that are happening and changing for you. You're a good quality human being. So excited to see all this move forward. Okay, so moving along really quick. Rich Light, if you haven't used that material, man, you got to get out there and check that stuff out.
Try it out.
Yeah, Sergei Hasagawa, thank you so much. You've been fantastic. What an amazing product rep you are for that team, and you really, really hooked me up with some great samples. Thank you. I mean, okay, I'll let it out. We're going to be using Rich Light on Danger Brand guitar. Just so excited about it.
Yeah, it's true.
It is what it is. Yep. So thank you, Rich Light. Thank you, Sergei Hasagawa. Laguna Tools, thank you so much. Love our CNC machine. Fantastic. I'm telling everybody that I can about it. So I love that machine. Thank you very much. Another great guy, Joe Parker. Man, we got to spend the day with Joe Parker. Oh, that guy is solid. Full guitars. Yep. Joe, you are another fantastic human being that I'm so lucky to know, and I can't wait to learn to get to know you better. And then really quick before I end, Jason. You have added so much greatness to this show. I think everybody out there understands. I definitely understand. It is a much needed part that this show
Here.
This show needed to move to the next level. So Jason, thank you very, very much. I mean,
I appreciate it, guys.
We need to do a tour of your shop because people are going to lose their minds when they see
a grand total of 1 minute and 30 seconds.
No, but it would take 3 hours to pull out every little nook and cranny you nicely fit on little rollers and extensions, and it is amazing. This guy is brilliant with design.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't do anything halfway, and he is a quality human being. I mean, he's dedicated his life to educating people, and especially educating in music. That is a saint. Our teachers are not thanked enough. And Jason, you are the man. Thank you very much. So I am honored to do this.
They can't see us because I'm all red right now. I'm blushing.
Well, I'm just honored to be with you guys and do this. And I'm really excited to help and do everything I can to make this better because it was a great experience for me. I learned so much, and I want to pay that forward and bring this podcast and what we can do to other people who are enthusiasts or people building their first guitar or guys who've been doing this forever, the guys who are in the trucks, the roadies every day, cranking out, work on guitars. We're here for you too. Whatever you guys need, we want to help you guys. So enough with my attention deficit disorder ramble. 2017 was
we love
great.
you, man.
2018 is going to be fantastic.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys for allowing me to be a part of this. Thank you very much.
Matt, I'm so happy to have you here, and I'm glad that we threw to you for that because I think your kindness and your heart shows through, and I love you, and I know everybody else loves you too.
Yeah, man, you're like a coach. You're like, get out there, you can do it, guys.
That should be. We need really fun, unique titles. Like you shouldn't just be producer. You should be like coach. I think that would be good. I think head coach,
chief evangelist, Tony Robbins.
Absolutely. But yeah, at Scarab Guitars on Instagram, and I hope people follow your stuff too. You tease some stuff out sometimes, so it's good to see. You know,
every once in a while.
We'll have there will be more. You know, when we get in the shop and we make some more stuff. You know, it's fun. It'll be good. Absolutely.
Oh, and one more thing.
Yes.
Listeners, thank you very much. We couldn't do it without you guys. Listeners, thank you. So excited to learn more about what you guys want to hear, what we can do to make your lives better, to enrich your build product and your build process, whatever we can do. We are here for you. That's why we're here.
Absolutely. Well said. You know what was really funny just then was on the Skype, the way that your two faces are kind of facing each other, and then I heard a sound, like a keyboard sound. It looked like you were kissing. Is what it looked like, and I heard it. I was like, "Aw, aw." That was excellent, Matt. Thank you so much for introducing yourself, and I'm glad that we had that chance to do that. That I think about wraps it up for the episode. You guys, on to bigger and better and more amazing things this year. Jason, you want to tell them a little bit about that survey?
Yeah, so there's a survey. You probably find the link in the podcast description. It's going to take you to a Google Doc. And like I said, it's a little bit lengthy, but it gives us good information about who you are. And there's also some responses there. You can tell us a little bit more about what kinds of things that you like and you don't like, and some suggestions for improvement on the show. Also, here in the podcast description, you're going to see an email address, and that is the address that you can send your questions to, that we can use them, compile them for a future Q&A show. We'd really like to hear from you, both in the email question form and in the survey form.
Absolutely. And, of course, this episode would not be possible without our podcast patrons through Podbean. If you don't know what that is, simply go to the link in the podcast description. It'll take you to our Podbean podcast patron page. That's a lot of P's. And
that's crazy alliteration, man.
Yeah, that was good. Real good. I'm kind of surprised I managed to flub my way through that. But become a patron for as little as $1 a month. You can just pledge some support to the show and make sure that we keep doing this thing and keep coming at you with the Luthierist Podcast.
You know it. Hard and heavy in 2018.
Yeah.
Hard and heavy.
All right. Thanks for listening to the show, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.